Big Ten wrestling on Big Ten Plus. Tonight's beat features the Indiana Hoosiers and the Maryland Terrapins, both of which are looking for their first dual win in Big Ten Conference play. Alongside Andrew Garrison, my name is Quincy Bell. Mary Kate Sullivan will join us from the sideline. You're absolutely right, Andrew. We have a bunch of fun matchups on tap today between the Hoosiers and Terps. The first matchup will be at 125 pounds between Maryland's Abram Klein, a sophomore from Chula Vista, California, and Indiana's Jacob Miranda, graduate student from Portage, Indiana.
This is an interesting one for me because Jacob Moran just took his first loss on the season last week at Ohio State. It was a major decision loss. It was a tough one for him. He's 9-1 on the year, and he's going against President Sanchez, a sophomore who has
with 3 tech falls, and he is currently tied up top with Abram Klein. Moran is a very quick wrestler. That's something you see a lot in the 125 division. A lot of speed. Moran, one of the quickest as they come, likes to attack from the outside with those ankle picks if he can get them.
Absolutely. When you look at Moran, when you look at Sanchez rather, you see someone that against Ashton Jackson couldn't really stay on top of Jackson, couldn't get out from underneath Jackson. So if Moran takes a swift advantage here in the first period, absolutely capable of accumulating riding time.
About 1 minute gone in period number 1. No scoring yet. Sanchez went 13-13 last year in his red shirt season, but he has a tough task against Moran, who has the right leg, looking for the takedown. He doesn't quite have it, right at the edge of the circle. He's pulling Klein back into it. He really wants it, Moran does. Trying to will him back in there. Just doesn't quite have the angle yet. Now he does. 3 points for Moran.
Well, Sanchez did a good job fending him off for a while there, but Moran, of course, able to secure the takedown. That's a quick 3 points. Now, on the side of Moran, he couldn't really contest the shots of number 3 Bouzakis with Ohio State. That consistent and constant pressure from Bouzakis is what ultimately allowed him to rack up the points on Moran. So Sanchez going for shots. Obviously, he's going to start on bottom right here, but if he can get out from underneath, have an escape, and then just putting pressure on Moran, that's an opportunity for the upset to occur. But Moran certainly doing what he needs to do early.
Moran ranked number 12 in the 125 weight class, looking for a strong showing in that Big Ten tournament and eventually the NCAA tournament. Qualified for the NCAA tournament last year as the 18 seed, went 2-2. But he is very experienced, a veteran guy, one of the leaders of this Indiana Hoosiers squad.
You're absolutely right. Ranked number 12 in the country for a reason at 125. And again, faced adversity for really the first time last week against Ohio State, and he seems to be bouncing back in a great way as an experienced wrestler would.
Ohio State has been giving everyone adversity this year. They're 12-0. 1-0 in the Big Ten with that win over Indiana. That was the only dual meet between these two squads. Klein is doing a pretty good job here of fending off all of these attacks from Moran. It's just been difficult for him to fire one off himself. Klein sits at 11-8 on the year. He was nationally ranked in the class of 2022, ranked in the top 20. And there goes Moran again, 3 more points.
And it's just that swift attack. It's so difficult to see before it happens, and it's so difficult to stop while it's happening. And it's a big reason why Moran is ranked 12th in the country. And, oh, by the way, up 6-1 after the first period in this matchup.
First period through and gone. Moran looking for a bonus point victory. You know, he loves to rack those up when he can. He has 5 of them so far on the year in his 9 matchups, or 10 matchups. He's 9-1 overall. Last year was very strong in dual play. 10-3 was his dual record. He's already up with the escape. 7-1, he leads it.
Well, I don't mind that sequence for Sanchez because this is a situation with Moran where, again, obviously, if you're Sanchez in this situation, you were down 5, you're now down 6, and that quick escape from Moran isn't a bad thing because, again, that constant and consistent pressure is what Sanchez is going to have to put on Moran, which is a very tall task. But if he can start racking up shots and obviously preventing Moran from doing so as he is right here, then Sanchez might have an opportunity to come back. But if he just rode out Moran there, Moran's going to escape eventually. He's quick, obviously. He has that stamina, and it would be difficult for Sanchez. So I don't mind the quick escape there for Moran.
Absolutely not. I'm sure Indiana would love to see him get some extra points in this one. Sanchez doing a good job of really fending off these attacks. It's just been very hard for him to mount one himself. Moran is very good at defending leg attacks. Like we said earlier, he's just so quick, so experienced.
It's a great point. Sanchez really has struggled to find an angle of attack against Moran in this situation. It's obviously difficult to create takedowns that way. I will say, though, a good bout from Sanchez so far. Some good defense. Obviously, ultimately, that first takedown from Moran did occur, but great job preventing the single leg from turning into a double leg and then a takedown for, you know, multiple sets of 10 seconds there. Even right there, great defense from Sanchez. He's keeping himself up. And so he's going to struggle to be able to score against Moran because, again, there's just no angles of attack, but not bad defense from Sanchez against a very highly ranked wrestler.
Sanchez just got hit with a stall call, so Moran with another point, he leads it 8-1. And he's looking for more. As Sanchez locked up top, looking to spin around for the leg, and he has it. 3 more points for Moran. He leads it 11-1. And the second period is through. So 4 more points for Moran to potentially get the tech fall if he can.
Absolutely. And also, you look at riding time for Moran. He's at 35 seconds. If it wasn't for that takedown, the math changes a little bit. And up 7, you could see a world where, with Moran starting on top in the third, he could just try to ride out for that 8th point. But you're exactly right. That late second period takedown changes the math a great deal, because now he's up 10, just needs 5 more points to secure that tech fall, and obviously additional team points for the Hoosiers. Riding time potentially a factor, but he's going to have to go for some takedowns as well. Probably 2 takedowns away from a tech fall, which is a tall task in 2 minutes.
Boy, let him up and then cut him back down. Moran with 2 more points leads at 14-2. And I'd imagine he lets him up and cuts him again, and there it is. You can tell Sanchez is winded right now. And Moran should have 5 points coming in the team column for Indiana.
And again, Sanchez against Jackson on Friday. Just when Jackson was on top, he really struggled to get out from underneath him. And especially against a guy like Moran, who's so good on top, you kind of know that in the period, in this case the third period, where Moran starts on top, it's going to be difficult for Sanchez to sneak out and provide opportunities to score. Unfortunately, looks like Sanchez has some medical assistance giving him attention.
He's holding his right knee at the moment. We hope that he is okay and fit to continue the match going, but he looks like he's really struggling right now. But Moran, well on his way to his 10th win of the season. He'll move to 7-1 in dual action. He's really a guy that, if Indiana wants to get a couple big dual wins coming down the stretch, he's going to need to be a guy that performs very well, and he has for the most part, other than the 1 loss against Ohio State.
Absolutely. Moran, you mentioned, obviously one of the more experienced wrestlers in this group. Coach Escobedo said that he was one of the vocal leaders of this group. Obviously makes sense considering he's a graduate student and one of the best wrestlers on the team. And just, it's great to have someone that can consistently set the tone. And we see the replay here of him doing exactly that against Maryland as we're back underway. But Moran, someone to put Indiana on the right foot, duel after duel.
1 more takedown, there it is. Moran has it by technical fall, 20-4. He takes down Preston Sanchez.
A great start for Indiana, a great bout for Jacob Moran, and he successfully bounces back from that loss against...
Was 5th place in 2025 of the Big Ten tournament. Went 24-6 last year, 18-1 in dual competition, 7-1 in the Big Ten. Brown is as tough of a customer as they come. Bloom so far on the year for Indiana, 7-4 is his record. He's only played in 1 duel. That was the first matchup of the year against Columbia. He did lose that one. 1 major decision, 1 tech fall, 4 pins for him as well. So we should have a pretty good matchup here between Brown and Bloom.
And Brown is wrestling as good as he could possibly be wrestling right now. A technical fall win against Blake Borman for Purdue 2 days ago. Just relentless offense, incredible shot efficiency, complete domination. You mentioned he's 12 and 4 as a redshirt senior so far this season, number 16 in the country, and clearly deserves it. But Bloom holding his own right here against Brown, who again is surely one of the best wrestlers in the country. He deserves his ranking, and he's been proving it in recent duels.
Both these guys tied up top, looking for a chance to set up an attack. Bloom, the true freshman, 4-time state champion in the state of Michigan. Went undefeated in all 4 of his state title matches, won all of them by pin or tech fall. So he's one of the most decorated wrestlers to ever come out of the state of Michigan. And Bloom has just been hit with a stall warning. Gotta see him maybe take some attempts to mount an attack here against Braxton Brown.
You're absolutely right. And if you're Bloom in this situation, you don't want to be on the back foot against Brown. Again, Brown against Borman, relentless offense, incredible shot efficiency, and once those points start to rack up for Brown, it's an avalanche or a landslide, whatever you want to say, from there. So good offensive attack from Bloom. He's really holding his own. He's taking authority over the match as much as he can in this situation and is giving Brown something to think about, especially with those ties up top. So Bloom is in it, and we have no scoring through the first 2 minutes of the first period. Certainly a fascinating one so far.
1 minute left in period number 1. It's been really hard for these two to really break out. These are two guys that are very strong when it comes to playing up top. So it's just very difficult for either of these two to mount an attack. Bloom goes for the leg, but Brown able to back out of the way and continue the matchup up top. 35 seconds to go in period 1. This could be a statement win for Jackson Bloom if he gets it. Has yet to have a ranked win in his collegiate career. Braxton Brown could be the first.
He's certainly starting out strong in this situation. This is a win for Bloom to exit the first period tied 0-0, if of course it remains that way for the last 10 seconds. We'll see who's on top in the second period, but again, Bloom holding his own. This is a moral victory. There's no moral victories in wrestling, but this certainly feels like one after the first period.
Strong first period from the true freshman against the redshirt senior. We will head to period 2 with no scoring yet. So Brown will start on the bottom. Bloom will go up top.
What else is important about this match is we obviously saw Moran get bonus points at 125, and now this is a prime opportunity in theory on paper for Maryland to achieve some bonus points, which is critical for the Terrapins if they want to win this matchup because of just how good Indiana is in the middle and upper weight classes. But Bloom, again, holding his own, and even if he loses, to prevent Maryland from scoring bonus points, that's huge for Indiana. Obviously, he's looking for the win himself, and he's in position to do so. He'll start on top in the second period.
Yeah, Brown is definitely the favorite on paper. If Maryland wants a chance in this dual meet, he's going to have to come away with a win here. And ideally, like you said, some bonus points as well. He gets the escape and Brown on the board first, 1-0. Of course, Bloom will start on the bottom to start period 3. And Brown is in with the leg, looking to spin around for the takedown. Bloom is keeping him where he's at. This is a big moment in this matchup. If Brown can get the legs up and drive forward to flip around, Bloom is just holding him there.
Bloom's got to be careful about his back here if Brown's able to get both legs.
That's true. He's trying to flip it up. Minute 15 to go, and there it is. 3 points on the takedown for Braxton Brown.
And good job by Bloom to make sure his belly's facing the mat after that takedown was scored, because again, he was potentially in a compromised position, especially if Brown was able to manhandle him.
Yeah, he was in danger of getting flipped onto his back. Right at the edge of this circle, and you can see Brown keeping that right toe in the circle to keep this riding time going. Now he puts it out, but that's a good job there of just holding the position right on the edge.
And well done by Bloom to scoot himself out of bounds just a little bit. Not enough to warrant a stall call, but enough to really stretch out Brown's leg and his foot and ensure that he ends up out of bounds and can reset in the middle of the mat.
Riding time is getting up there for Brown. A big mat return with 40 seconds to go in the second period.
Yeah, it's a vicious mat return. Brown really asserting his dominance. He's looking to get to a minute of riding time and potentially more than that before he remains on top of the third period, rather.
So 4 points in this period for Brown off of an escape and a takedown. Bloom will need that to tie this up in the third. Riding time now up over a minute. 8 seconds left in the period. Bloom trying to get the escape before the period ends, and he is slammed back down by Brown. Period over with. It's time for why he's elected to go neutral here. And he goes for the leg, can't quite get it. You know, some guy, that's where being good on top really can come in handy, because if you can just force guys to make a decision like that, even if you just put it in their heads, it can be huge over the course of a match.
Absolutely, and love to see the early shot attempt from Bloom. It's exactly what he needs, and it obviously works out for him that he's in neutral. Because just like you mentioned, Brown's dominant on top is going to really be able to suffocate the third period. But also, Bloom now is in position to potentially rack up a takedown and look to claw back in this match, send it to sudden victory, or potentially win it outright in regulation. But it's going to have to happen right now. We got to start to see those shot attempts from Bloom once again.
It's going to need to be multiple takedowns, most likely, to get this one. And he only has 1 minute left. He mounts the attack, had the leg for a second, but Braxton Brown, too shifty, gets out of the way. And time is of the essence for Jackson Bloom.
But again, even if he loses here, it is very notable that Moran was able to achieve bonus points and Brown may not, depending on how the last 40 seconds goes here.
And Bloom is in there. He has the left leg of Brown, trying to do something with it. Braxton Brown doing a good job of countering. Now he has a leg. We're in a scramble right now. Who can get to the position first? Brown once again just keeping that toe in, watching the time tick down. We're down to 15 seconds. And it looks like that'll do it. 13 seconds left, but Braxton Brown, just nice defensive wrestling, got a takedown in there, and he's going to get a nice, easy win over Jackson Bloom. He made things interesting in the first. Now Bloom looking for the takedown. He has the leg with 5 seconds. Brown just not quite going to the ground, keeping him there, and there it is.
You make a great point. Great defense. I'd like to commend Bloom for great defense on the other side, preventing a major decision victory or anything more than that. Wasn't quite able to score, but again, 133. We've seen a lot of rotation for the Hoosiers. Very nice performance for Bloom despite the loss.
So Indiana leads the team point category 5-3.
Up on the mat. He rarely gets injured and has a lot of energy when he wrestles. This makes him a fan favorite. We'll see if this translates on the mat today as he matches off against Carter Young. Guys, back to you.
So that matchup will be coming up at 149. We have one more before that at 141. But I'll tell you, Andrew, wrestlers and the preparation and just great condition that they are in, it's pretty impressive.
Absolutely, and to keep that going throughout an entire season, you know, I don't think I could do it for one match, much less, you know, an entire season between the duels and the tournaments and obviously striving for conference and national championships. It is incredible, it is unbelievable, and knowing about that preparation and having that insight from Mary Kate just makes it all the more impressive what we're seeing on the mat. So
we have one more matchup before we see Joey Butler. It's Henry Porter, ranked 25 in the country, out there for Indiana against Dario Lemus, a redshirt sophomore for Maryland.
Now, Henry Porter was not in action in Columbus. He suffered a minor knee injury at the Midlands tournament a couple weeks ago. Coach Escobedo said he would not be hampered at all. He'd be at 100%. It was just a minor knee injury, and the Ohio State match was a little bit too much of a quick turnaround. But Escobedo seems to be optimistic about Porter's status as the 25th ranked wrestler at 141. But we'll have to see how he looks to our eyes against Dario Lemus.
Well, Lemus got the takedown, but Porter back up with the escape. Lemitz, last year in his redshirt freshman season, went 9-15 overall with 2 pins. He's definitely looking to improve upon that year in his sophomore campaign. Last year for Porter, in his redshirt sophomore season, he went 14-10 with a 7-5 record in dual competition. This year he's 8-4 with a 3-3 record in dual competition. Looking up top against Dario Lemus. Lemus, a one-time California state champion back in his high school days. 4-time state placer. Definitely one of the stronger underclassmen that this Terrapin team has.
Absolutely, and that's what Maryland's looking to do, right? This is a team that is 0-3 in the Big Ten right now, 4-4 overall, 2-2 on the road, notably, but they're looking to build this program to a place where Indiana is, and then potentially to where, you know, some of the titans of NCAA wrestling, Penn State, Iowa, and the like are. And so Lemus is a key piece of that. Redshirt sophomore, as you mentioned, someone that's won way more than he's lost so far this season. Looking for opportunities to continue to build Maryland into a potential power.
1 minute to go in period 1. Porter looking to mount an attack against Lemus. Trying to get down for that right leg, but Lemus doing a great job of fending him off. Now Lemus goes on the attack, and he's in on the right leg. Porter spinning him around. These two really going at it at the edge, and both guys are out of there. And the Indiana bench, they thought that Porter was able to get that takedown right there at the end. I think maybe if he was a little bit towards the center, he probably has that one.
Yeah, it's a tricky one for Porter right there. But good to see that consistent pressure from Porter, because Lemus is someone that was a little bit tired in the later periods against the freshman phenom Isaiah Schaefer of Purdue. Ends up losing by regular decision on Friday. And so especially Lemus coming back and wrestling 2 days later, it'll be interesting to see how his energy is sustained throughout the 3 periods.
Porter gets him down to the ground, looking to flip around for 3 points on the takedown. He has just 13 seconds to do so. Dario Lemus trying to hold him off. Now he has position up top with 5 seconds to go. Looks like this will stay how it is. 3-1, Lemus will have the lead as we go into the second.
So that's 2 tough opportunities for Porter as he receives some instruction from Coach Escobedo. But 2 tricky ones where right there in position for a takedown, not quite able to complete it. Certainly looked like he was about to before they fell out of bounds. He's been in strong positions, but Porter just going to need to capitalize. Can have an opportunity to score 1 off an escape right here.
Yeah, that time you're seeing it right now. Able to flip him to the ground, but just couldn't quite spin around for the takedown. So Lemus will start up top. Porter already has the escape. Now he'll go back to work. He has the leg, flips him over. There's 3 points with the takedown, and Porter looking for more. Tried to flip Lemus on his back, couldn't quite do it. Well, that's an electric takedown that got this crowd in it.
And remember, Lemus, again, against Schaefer, a little bit gassed in the 2nd and 3rd period. And right there, it's a swift escape, and Porter's right back on the offensive with the re-attack. Look for more points from Porter, especially if he goes for a takedown early right here, because Lemus, again, in the 2nd period and the 3rd period, just 2 days ago, was a little bit gassed against the freshman.
Porter is in. And he has 3 more on the takedown. Lemus gets out of there. So 8-5, the lead for the redshirt junior Henry Porter. This is a California matchup. Both these guys hail from out west. Lemus from Clovis, California. Porter from Gilroy, California. 1 minute to go in the second. Porter looking for more. These two really been going for many attacks. That time Lemus went for it. Porter fends it off well, looking for 3 more, trying to flip around to the back, and he has it. 3-point takedown, Henry Porter. He leads it by 6 over Dario Lemus.
And remember, Porter's going to start on top in the 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. So certainly an opportunity again for riding time, but more likely a quick escape if he sheds them, and then continued attacks as he looks for a major decision. He's certainly in position to sneak one in.
Well, Porter, throughout this entire season, has been very good in neutral positions, so there's a chance he just lets Lemus up to cut him again. 1 point on the escape. Porter leads it by 5 with 30 seconds to go in the second period. This has been a very exciting match. Both these guys not shying away from throwing off attacks. Porter in again with the leg right in front of his own bench, who's loving it. Trying to flip Lemus on his back. He's running out of room, trying to keep that foot in. It looks like he might just hold him there for the end of this period. 2 seconds and now 1 period over, but a strong one for Henry Porter, who has a commanding lead going into the third.
Porter absolutely dictating the tone after 2 periods right here. Lemus on the back foot, and again, a little bit tired. You can see that from Lemus, wrestling twice in 1 weekend. Maryland also wrestled twice last weekend. To have those 2 double weekends back-to-back is a very difficult start for Maryland. It's part of the reason why they're 0-3 as a team. And now Porter has an opportunity to rack up a couple more points. Look for him to shed Lemus early here and go for a quick takedown, because we saw those swift attacks, we saw those swift jabs from Porter and how successful they were in the second period. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar to start the third.
Yeah, if he wants the major decision, which would be huge for Indiana to get some bonus points here, he's going to have to take him down one more time. So we'll see if Porter just lets him up. Looking for a big mat return. He's trying to throw him back down. There it is. Henry Porter just controlling everything right now as he's to roll out of bounds.
And I suppose that's the alternative approach, because maybe from a scoring perspective, it makes more sense to shed him early and go for a takedown. But sometimes a big mat return like that, especially with this lead, is enough to break a guy's will, and is enough to demoralize psychologically and win psychologically against someone when you start on top with a lead. That's exactly what Porter seems to be doing right here.
And he doesn't want to give up a takedown to Lemus either. 5 points, you think that's probably not a big enough lead to risk that. So right now, Porter just holding Lemus right where he is, trying to get that riding time up. He's at 45 seconds right now.
And that's critical, because if he gets to a minute of riding time and is able to keep that for the rest of the match, that's 1 point, which cancels out the 1 point from a Lemus escape in theory, and then a takedown will still get him to an 8-point lead and allow Porter to win. So right here, it needs to be, it's 2 takedowns at the moment for Porter to achieve a major decision, but if he snags that riding time point right here, then it's just 1 takedown to get him to 8. So interesting match here, and I'm sure that's working into Porter's head.
So he's at 57 seconds of riding time right now, so I'd imagine potentially after 3 more seconds he lets him up. So now it's at a minute, and there it is.
That's exactly
so the riding time's over a minute now. 1 more takedown could give Porter the major decision. He's in a scramble right now. Both guys have a leg. 1 minute to go in the match. Porter trying to flip around, get the takedown for the major decision. He's pulling Lemus back into him, trying to get anything he can. Man, this is just an awkward position for these two. They both have a leg of the other one. It's going to be really tough to flip around if Lemus can keep the control of that left ankle.
I'm guessing we have a stalemate incoming.
Could be. And there it is.
Yeah, it's very tricky. You're exactly right. That's not a situation where either wrestler is likely going to establish an advantage. And no reason to waste the rest of the third period on a position like that.
So 27 seconds left for Porter to get the takedown and earn that 4-point major decision. Lemus not totally out of this one either. A takedown could get him within 1, and he's looking for it. Porter with him right on the edge. And now they're out. So back to neutral. And Coach Escobedo telling Porter, hey, we might need this major decision. Go after him here. Don't shy away from the redshirt sophomore Dario Lemus. 15 seconds to go. Porter flipping around on the re-attack. There it is. 3 points for Henry Porter. He leads it by 7, and he needs to keep Lemus from the escape for 4 more seconds. They're pushed out of bounds with 3 seconds left. So Porter on the verge of his third major decision of the year.
You're absolutely right. The riding time point's enough to get it to 8 as long as Lemus doesn't escape in 3 seconds. Let's see if Porter can stay on top.
Well, against Central Michigan, we saw a reversal in the final 2 seconds of the match to win. Not today. Porter, 14-7, the winner by major decision.
Very well done by Porter, and as you mentioned, potentially some critical bonus points. You never know how the rest of this match is going to go. You never know how the rest of this duel is going to play out, and so well done by Porter right there, coming off of injury after a little bit of rest time.
And that takedown, final 20 seconds of that one, huge for the team, getting those extra points. Indiana leads it 9-3 in the team category, and we're about ready for 149 between Young and Joey Butler, the sophomore out of Greenwood, Indiana.
Well, this is a fun one because while Young is number 7 in the country at this weight class, the mid-year transfer from Oklahoma State, Butler's a guy that loves the scramble. He loves to get funky, he loves to get crazy in matches, and that could potentially put higher-ranked wrestlers into uncomfortable situations. And so if anyone's going to upset a ranked wrestler right here on the side of Indiana, Butler is definitely a good choice.
And Butler is a guy that's good at those scrambles. When you get into an awkward position, you don't bet against Joey Butler. But Young, the senior out of Stillwater, Oklahoma, mid-year transfer from Oklahoma State, has been very strong this year. He enrolled at the University of Maryland after 3 seasons as an Oklahoma State Cowboy. Started at 149. Very good performer for one of the top teams in the country, but finds himself wrestling on the East Coast for the Maryland Terrapins.
Here's a great example of one of those funky positions. If you watch Joey Butler wrestle, you're going to find yourself having no idea how he outrageously ended up in a position like that. But it's all a part of his approach. It's all a part of his style. And it's so much fun to watch week after week.
Butler also has what I'm willing to bet is some of the best hair in the Big Ten. That's a beautiful, beautiful head of hair on him as well. 2 minutes to go in the first. Butler 8-6 on the year, 4-3 in dual competition.
And he's had a tough stretch. He was pinned last week by number 4 Ethan Stiles at 149 of Ohio State. And now against number 7 Carter Young, an opportunity for him to sort of bounce back against a highly ranked opponent. He's doing a good job so far. Tricky situation against Stiles, because Stiles is another one that loves the scramble, and those two against one another, it just didn't really work for Butler. He tried to put himself in a scramble, funky situation, ended up disadvantaged, and before you know it, it's a pin against the number 4th ranked wrestler in this weight class. And so a little bit more conservatism from Butler right here against Young. Nice to see him potentially learning from that difficult result.
Ohio State is near the top of the Big Ten, looking like one of the teams to beat like they are most years. Penn State and Iowa also year in, year out looking very dangerous. Indiana, like we said in the open, looking for their first Big Ten win of the year. The only match they had was against Ohio State. Young is in there with a leg on Joey Butler, trying to drive through. Didn't quite get the takedown. One of the referees was about to motion for it, but just didn't quite get the position. Butler is hanging on by a thread right now. 45 seconds left to go in the first, trying to drive back into Young to try to get out of this awkward position. Young still going. He just barely can't get this takedown. Joey Butler is hanging on for dear life right now.
Unbelievable defense.
Butler flipped on his back for a second. He's got to be careful. Young just cannot quite get that takedown. And we're back to neutral. Wow, Joey Butler just hanging on and getting back to a position. I don't know how he avoided a takedown there. That was very impressive.
That's how you survive against a highly ranked wrestler like Young. That's a takedown for Young against most wrestlers in the country. But again, something about Joey Butler, despite not being ranked, so tricky to bring down.
4 seconds to go. Looks like we will be scoreless heading into the second. And the crowd showing their support for Joey Butler. Last year for Indiana, he competed at 141 and 149. Went 20-13 overall, 7 bonus point wins. Did not fare very well in duels. He went just 1-4, but A big improvement for him this year in his redshirt sophomore campaign. Positive record so far in duels. He's been one of the biggest improvements on this Indiana team. And like Mary Kate said earlier, that prep that he goes through is just wild.
It seems to be paying off so far.
Trying to avoid Young from the escape, but cannot. The Oklahoma State transfer is on the board first. Butler fires off an attack, fended off by Young. It's been tough for Butler to really get in there with some pressure. Young is one of the better defensive wrestlers that Maryland has.
Butler's in a good place here. Again, a little bit more, this is one of the more conservative approaches you'll see from Butler, just if you watch all of his duels across the season. But it's working out for him, and he's still putting himself in position to score against Young. Right here, here's a chance.
He hops around to the back. He wants the takedown. They're just out of bounds, and the challenge brick is in the circle. That one was really close. Joey Butler hopping over the top of Carter Young. And the Indiana coaching staff, they want to have another look at this one.
They were quick to throw that challenge break, which is going to be encouraging for the Indiana fans here. Let's watch this replay and see.
Coach Escobedo wasting no time to get it in there. Oh, his feet are on the edge. I think he has that one. That's really close.
But the question is, does he have control of both of those ankles while those feet are inside the circle? Gosh, we could watch that over and over again, and I'm sure we'd have a different decision each and every time. I can't imagine what it's like to be these officials in this situation.
That's just, Joey Butler's one of the more just pure athletic guys on Indiana. The hop is a big risk if you get turned on your back, but right there, oh, I think he has it.
It's unfortunate.
Or he had it for a second. The left leg of Young kind of slipped out of there, but he's really close. We'll see if they give it to him. And they did not. Call on the mat stance, no takedown for Joey Butler. I do like the decision there to challenge from Coach Escobedo. That's going to be one of your best chances to sort of flip points in your favor. So a good time to throw the brick, but it did not pan out. I think it was that right leg that just slipped out for Young that caused Butler to not have it, but he might have it here. He does. Joey Butler gets the 3 points after all. Looking to keep Young where he is, and now Maryland will toss out the brick into the middle. So they're going to say maybe Butler didn't quite have that one when he flipped around up top.
But how about Joey Butler either way? The intensity and the urgency and the patience that he's wrestling with right now after being pinned. He wasn't patient against Styles, right? Which is normal. That's his approach. That's his style. He puts himself in funky situations. He takes risks, right? But that ultimately resulted in him being quickly pinned by Styles, and now a little bit more patience, a little bit more conservatism, a little bit more awareness. He's a little bit more methodical, but still those shots are dangerous, and Young's learning that very quickly here. Butler is going to lead at the moment. We'll see what the result of this challenge call is, because that would certainly change the map.
Yeah, it looked like he had Young around the waist. I do think they made the right decision on that first challenge. I do think Young eventually slipped the ankle out to avoid the takedown here, but we'll see what the decision is here. Butler just sitting at the center of the mat, getting a lot of love from the crowd. Here's another look at it. He flips to the back. He's got both hands underneath on Young. Yeah, Young trying to break off with the hands there. I don't know, it's close. It's very close, just like the other one. But we'll see what we have here. And they're going to take the points away, it looks like. So a successful challenge for Maryland. Takes the takedown away from Joey Butler. Didn't quite have the hand positioning.
Well, Butler's going to have to fight for his points in this one. If he wins it, you'll certainly know that he earned it, because he's put himself in great positions and made fantastic plays time and time again, but still, unfortunately for him, no points to show for it.
2 challenges on Joey Butler takedowns, both go against him. He's had some time to rest up, though, from these stoppages in play. We'll see if he can mount an attack against Young. 17 seconds to go. Butler looking, but Young is in with the leg, flips him around, and 3 points for the Terrapin. Butler trying to get out. Couldn't quite.
And that's just a pivotal 30-second stretch there. I can't imagine how Butler and this Indiana bench is feeling. To go from up 3-1 to down 4-0.
Butler looking for an escape right at the end. And he cannot. Indiana bench irate right now. They thought Butler should have had that. He's going to choose down to start the third. So an escape and a takedown could tie things up. Butler's a guy who is as dangerous as they come for a reversal with how good he is in those scramble drills. You see the fans in the stands sort of rolling their fists. That's the signal for a reversal. So we'll see if Butler goes for that. And you see he tried to pull down the head of Young there. Now he gets the escape, and Butler a takedown away from tying things up, but Young is going to be a tough guy to flip around.
An escape and a takedown is exactly what Young did. Number 7 in the country. Can Butler match or exceed that effort in the third period? He's got 1:38 to do it.
This would be a big upset if Joey Butler is able to take him down, but Young firing back with 3 more points. A nice hard-fought takedown there. And now he leads it by 6, and if you're Young, you're thinking about bonus points now. That was a huge flip of momentum. This could be huge, potentially, if Butler can avoid the major decision.
He's got to watch his back now.
He's right on the edge of that mat. Young trying to keep him in. We saw Braxton Brown unable to get any bonus points on his win for Maryland. Young trying to get at least 4 points, which would bring Maryland very back in this dual meet. Just 45 seconds left. A lot of riding time is coming for Young. It's up to 48 seconds, so 12 more seconds of riding time would give Young the major decision, barring any other scoring. Needs 12 more seconds. He's up top against Butler. Butler's trying to drive up with the feet. Now he tried to roll out of it there. But the riding time over a minute for Young. He's in major decision territory. 15 seconds to go. Butler put up quite the effort in this one. Had 2 takedowns go to review. Didn't get either one of them to go. It looks like he's going to fall in this one to Young. A big win for the Terps, a major decision. Gets them back in this one. Out of Indianapolis is 6-5 overall with a 3-4 dual record.
Well, Lowry was ranked number 33. He's deserved a ranking for a while, finally able to crack into that top 33. I describe his loss, his major decision loss versus number 2 Cannon for Ohio State as kind of an avalanche, right? Lowry was very much in it in the first period, and then bad went to worse, and I wonder if there was some level of demoralization. I wonder if there was some level of physical exhaustion. Lowry ends up losing. This is an opportunity to bounce back against 157, which is kind of a problem area for Maryland.
It's Makai Neal out there for the Terps, the sophomore from Calvert County, Maryland. In his redshirt freshman season, he went 6-4 with 2 pins, so he has some promise as an underclassman here for Maryland, but Lowry looking to flip around and get that 3-point takedown. He can't quite do it there. Nice job defending there from Neal.
On the other side for Nathan Perry, kind of to your point, This is an opportunity for him to prove himself, right? Sophomore Mekhi Neal went against Purdue, and he lost by technical fall to Stoney Buell, who had a takedown in the first period, and then it's a first period technical fall. He just forced back points throughout the rest of the first period. Neal never able to record an escape and get up. And so for Perry, it's an opportunity to establish his presence at 157 for Maryland and prove himself against a ranked wrestler.
Well, they switched it on the board. According to the in-stadium scoreboard, it's Pizzuto out there for the Terps.
And that's interesting because Pizzuto's listed at 149, so him at wrestling up a weight class is a fascinating thing to watch against Lowry right here. It does look like he was at 149. You can see kind of the physical difference between the two. It appears as if Pizzuto's a little bit smaller and had just gotten up to 157. So be interesting to see how that plays out for Lowry, especially in the second or third when he starts on top.
So Pizzuto is a redshirt sophomore from Mount Airy, Maryland. And there it is, 3 points for Lowry on the takedown. Looking for a big win here for the Hoosiers. 2 wins for Indiana, 2 for Maryland. But Indiana able to get some bonus points in the 2 of their wins, which is why they lead it by 3 right now.
Absolutely. And with this size advantage, I'm interested to see if Lowry is able to just ride this one out. 37 seconds.
He leads at 3-0 after the first takedown. .28 seconds to go.
Goodness me.
Lowry commanding this match so far, looking for 3 more points. He has just 14 seconds left to get that position. Trying to just fight up through it. 5 seconds to go. And he's not quite going to have it, but that riding time already up to 55 seconds. An impressive first period from the redshirt sophomore Bryce Lowry.
Absolutely, and he's just dominant on top against Pizzuto, as he seems to have a size advantage, he seems to have a physicality advantage. He's going to start on bottom. I wouldn't be surprised if, regardless of the score, Pizzuto ends up choosing neutral in the third, just because of how great Lowry proved himself to be on top there in the first period. We'll see if he can get a quick escape as well.
Escape would make it 4-0. We'll see how aggressive Pizzuto gets here on top. Looking for a mat return, but Lowry squeaks out of it and has the escape. Just about halfway through this one. Here at 157. Lowry had to take a medical red shirt last year. He opened the season 2-0 before a season-ending injury prevented him from completing the season, but he's back and has been wrestling very well. Earned that number 33 ranking in the country. And it looks like timeout called by Maryland, so these two will talk things over with their coaches.
Fascinating match so far, but again, Lowry on top has just been fantastic, and he's potentially in major decision territory, especially if, you know, if Pizzuto chooses to go neutral in the third, a situation where Lowry's just a takedown or 2 away from that major decision. Riding time could be a factor as well, so it all really depends. The math's going to change depending on if Pizzuto chooses bottom or neutral in the third, but Lowry definitely chasing that 8-point lead.
Yeah, you definitely are in major decision territory if you're Lowry. If he's able to get one more takedown, he's definitely there.
He's had 4 major decision victories on the season, no tech falls and no pins. But Lowry is used to winning by significant margins.
This is a matchup with a guy playing up, or wrestling up in his weight class. Yeah, definitely a chance for Lowry to get some bonus points here. 18 seconds left in the period. Pizzuto going on the attack. Lowry with the counter. He's in with a leg. 4 seconds left for him to do something with it. And it doesn't look like he'll be able to. So we head to the third. Lowry needs just 4 more points for a major. But Pizzuto not out of this one yet.
Absolutely, and Lowry wasn't really able to establish advantage late in the second there. It looks like Pizzuto is going to start on bottom. So this will be interesting to see how hard Lowry chases the major. He's close to, over halfway to a riding time point. It'll be interesting to see, probably similar to one of those last matches where he just allows Pizzuto to stay on bottom until 1 minute and then allows him to come up, neutering that escape point and then going for the takedown.
It's what it's going to have to be most likely, because you don't want Pizzuto to get an escape and then a takedown to tie things up. So you're at 57, 58, 59. There's the minute. So there's the riding time. Lowry still controlling it up top.
But again, Pizzuto was a little bit difficult to bring down from neutral at the end of the second period there. He stayed sharp.
Just a minute and change to go. And this is going to be a tough major to come by if Bryce Lowry wants it. I'm sure he does want it, but Pizzuto has been, kind of getting thrown into the fire here. He's been pretty solid.
Yeah, this is tough because with the riding time point, if he allows Pizzuto to come up.
He did just allow him to come up. They gave him the point for the escape there.
So he's going for the takedown, but even then, he's going to need 2, and Pizzuto's just been so difficult to bring down time and time again.
So he has that riding time advantage up over a minute. And he has just 1 minute now left to cut Pizzuto back to the mat. $50 seconds. Lowry looking to get his dual record back up to 500. He sits at 3-4 on the season. Pizzuto fires off an attack. Lowry dodges out of the way. Doesn't look like he'll get the major in this one, but still, if everything stays right for the Hoosier, they'll get 3 more points for the team. Both guys are pushed out with 23 seconds left.
You're right, but don't rule out the possibility for a late Pizzuto takedown. He's defended very well from neutral. He's held his ground. And if there's a late advantage for Pizzuto, we could be going to some overtime.
20 seconds for him to mount that attack. But Lowry just so good defensively today. Tries to fire off one more. He's in with the leg. He flips him. Might be looking for some back points here. Time is running out. He might have it. He might have it right at the end. Lowry, he got it, and he's fired up.
That is unbelievable, Quincy.
Huge back points at the end for Bryce Lowry. Lillard, a redshirt junior from Aurora, Ohio, is 8-2 on the year with a 5-2 record in dual competition. He sits at the 20th rank in the 165 ranked class. Rodriguez is a junior, 13-10 overall last year with 3 major decisions and 3 tech falls. So we should have a fun one here between these two. Tyler Lillard, definitely the favorite on paper of this one, but Rodriguez is a guy who is as tough as they come. He's not going to let Lillard have this one easily.
Absolutely. Now, Lillard is someone that's coming off of a regular decision loss to Ethan Burden of Ohio State, an unranked wrestler. He was kind of outsmarted in that contest. Both got their escapes at the beginning of the second and third, respectively, and Lillard was charged with a stall call as essentially him and Burden were going out of bounds. Then Burden stopped at the boundary. Lillard falls backwards, and he ends up getting hit with the stall to make it 2-1, and it would remain that score for the duration of the contest, allowing Burden to secure the regular decision victory. Lillard looking for a rebound opportunity against Rodriguez right here.
It was a tough loss for Lillard, just his second of the year. Plus 22 point differential for him on the year in his 8 wins. And Rodriguez is hit with a stall warning early in this one.
So now it's a stall on the other side of a match between Lillard and an opponent. So watch out for that as this one continues. Again, Lillard, the ranked wrestler in this situation, in theory, the one with the advantage on paper. So Rodriguez got to make sure to stay active to not let up points against him right here.
He's in with a leg, looking for a takedown of Lillard, but he is as flexible as they come, just hopping around there on one leg. That's something he is pretty good at. One of the most flexible wrestlers in the entire country, at least from the ones that I've seen. Against Central Michigan in that match at Assembly Hall, he was sitting in the splits at the very edge of the mat and just like rode down all the riding time all the way to zeros. It was really impressive. So just because you have a leg against Tyler Lillard doesn't really mean anything. You need two of them to take him down. But Rodriguez not in a bad position right now.
And to your point, he was in a similar situation against Burden. Burden's best chance at a takedown, it was exactly like that. Lillard with his full leg extended, nearly a full split standing up. He maintained his balance and obviously prevented the takedown, wasn't able to achieve victory. But again, for Rodriguez, that might be his best chance at a takedown all match long. And Lillard just making sure that that single leg stays at a single leg and 0 points are awarded.
He's as good as they come in terms of attacking, Lillard is, but he's just so hard to take down. Like you said, the only way they were able to beat him was by a 2-1 match that had a stall call in there. So 20 seconds left in the first, and Lillard is looking for some points. He has it. 3 points on the takedown. The redshirt junior on the board first.
Well done by Lillard, and that's a strong start in the first period. Rodriguez had a chance early, but the good defense from Lillard is the difference so far.
First period over, and Lillard has the 3-point lead. Last year, he went 20-12 overall with an 8-4 dual record, 12 bonus point wins, 6 victories over ranked opponents. He's a guy, Lillard, that plays up to his competition. If he's playing a highly ranked wrestler, he sees that as a challenge and he fights it head on. Just a great locker room guy as well. Very high energy and just a great guy to be around, Tyler Lillard. Rodriguez, though, trying to fight back for some more points, but Lillard flips over to the other side, the reversal, 2 points.
Well, that reversal was brewing from the moment the second period began. He nearly had it a couple moments ago and then finally is able to secure it. And we'll see if he can flip him on his back here, but at the boundary, it's likely to just fall out of bounds.
Minute 25 to go in the second, and Lillard just as flexible as they come, keeping that toe in. It just now slides out, but 27 seconds of riding time for Lillard. He's in, could be en route to a major decision. Already up by 5. The riding time, if he can get it to a minute, would put him up by 6. He'll give Rodriguez the escape and look to cut him again. And there it is, Lillard in with the leg, trying to flip around and drive. Rodriguez trying to counter, but he cannot. 3 more points on the takedown for Lillard. He's up 8-1.
And that flexibility that you mentioned is so important on defense and offense. That time on offense, there are plenty of wrestlers that would find themselves in that advantageous position, and then their leg would just squeak out of bounds. But Lillard keeps it in, he plants that toe, and he ensures that his leg extends as far as it humanly can to achieve those 3 points.
So Rodriguez back up again. Lillard back after it. Rodriguez, the junior from Mount Airy, Maryland, trying to fight back. A takedown could very much get him back in this match.
But one more for Lillard and it's major decision. So 30 seconds left in the second period. It's going to be an important one.
Lillard has it, 3 points. He's up 11-2. And a strong third period could put him in tech fall territory.
You're absolutely right. Rodriguez fell victim to consistent offensive pressure from Isaac Rubel of Purdue 2 days ago. Without Joey Blaze wrestling, they saved him for the match today. And Lillard also consistent offensive pressure, and it's just too much for Rodriguez this weekend.
2 seconds and 1. Tyler Lillard has a minute of riding time and a 9-point lead. He is looking for the tech fall.
Absolutely, and he's going to start on top. So with a minute of riding time, potentially a situation where he sheds Rodriguez and starts going for those takedowns, as we've seen throughout this duel so far.
I'd imagine that's what he does. Lillard, no tech falls on the year so far. He does have 2 pins and 1 major decision. And he's back at it again. 3 more on the takedown for Lillard. He's up by 11. 12 if you count the minute of riding time.
Boy, that was quick. And just, again, the length and flexibility of Lillard, unbelievable. And that's something that you don't really see replicated across any school from a physical standpoint in NCAA wrestling.
1 more takedown will put him up 14. He's searching for it. He's in. A clinic being put on by Tyler Lillard today. Rodriguez trying to flip back and avoid another takedown. Lillard just reaching out for that second leg. There it is, 3 more points on the takedown. Lillard leads it 17-4 with a minute and 15 seconds of riding time.
So it's 1 more takedown, and that's the tech fall for Lillard. And he allows the escape, and they'll go out of bounds. So from neutral right here, we'll see if Lillard can grab that last takedown and secure the tech fall before time expires.
Back underway. The tech fall would put Indiana up 20-6 in the team points category, and definitely would be huge for their chances of pulling out a win today in this dual meet over the Maryland Terrapins. Lillard in with 1 leg, trying to drive up for 2. Right at the edge of the mat, Lillard trying to keep Rodriguez in if he can. We'll go back to neutral. Rodriguez needs to avoid a stall call here as well. If he gets called for a stall, it would give Lillard the tech fall with the riding time that he has. And so there you see Rodriguez go on the attack. Lillard trying to flip around, 8 seconds left for him. He's got 1 leg driving forward. They're just quite out of bounds. The fans want the takedown. But we'll head back to neutral with 1.5 seconds left.
Yeah, that's a rough situation right there for Lillard. You have to imagine 1.5 seconds, not quite enough time to secure a full takedown, even from neutral. But a great showing from Lillard. Surely a little bit disappointed that he didn't find the tech fall, but still, bonus points for the Hoosiers. Obviously a win for the 20th best wrestler in the country at 165. And Lillard will certainly deserve this applause from the Hoosier crowd with the win.
A dominant performance for Lillard, just shy of that tech fall, but still some valuable points, 4 of them, for the Indiana Hoosiers. So here we go. At 174, it'll be the redshirt sophomore Orlando Cruz out of Crown Point, Indiana, against the true freshman Seth Digby for the Maryland Terrapins. So sophomore against freshman here at 174.
And typically at 174, the starter is number 31, Derek Gilcher, the graduate student. You have to imagine that because of the score from a team perspective, 19-6, that's why they're going to see what they have in the young guy, Orlando Cruz.
Crown Point, Indiana, one of the best wrestling high schools in the entire country from Northwest Indiana. There are 5 Indiana wrestlers that were once Crown Point Bulldogs. In his freshman season, Orlando Cruz went 10-13 with a 5-6 record in dual competition at Purdue. He just transferred to Indiana this past year. Was an IHSAA state champion in 2023 at 182 pounds. He's actually cutting weight to compete at the collegiate level. Digby definitely has his hands full, even if it's not facing Indiana's main guy at 174, which would be Derek Gilsher.
Sort of a prolonged feeling out process right here in the first period. Both of these guys trying to see what they're up against.
Digby, a true freshman from Lake Bluff, Illinois. So no stranger to the high caliber wrestling competition the Midwest has to offer. And Digby is hit with a stall warning there, as Cruz continues to apply the pressure. No score yet in period 1 at 174. Cruz, his career high school record, 136-14.
When you look at Digby, you see someone that on Friday at Purdue, I would call it a methodical technical fall loss against number 17, Brady Bowman. It wasn't completely dominant, but it was one where incrementally and consistently Bowman was racking up points. Cruz not quite able to have the same success. Neither one of these wrestlers has established really any sense of an advantage so far, which may continue to be the case through the rest of the first period. So it'll be interesting to see what this is like when one of them starts on top and one of them starts on bottom.
Stalemate called, and this match has been a stalemate for the most part. Both guys just sort of feeling the other one out. 30 seconds left for Digby and Cruz to try to get on the board here. Digby fires off an attack. Cruz able to sprawl up top out of it. He has 20 seconds to try to flip around for the takedown. These two just locked up top. No room for either one to work. 10 seconds left. Cruz and Digby. Looks like we will head to the second, tied at zeros.
So the question here is going to be, which one is best on bottom? Which one's able to escape more quickly? Or I suppose more importantly, which one is better on top? One of these wrestlers is, or maybe both, are going to have the opportunity to escape quickly and then secure a takedown or potentially a reversal. It's probably going to be low scoring throughout unless one of these guys begins to run out of gas well before the other. We'll see how quick Cruz can escape, if ever.
He starts on bottom. He's already up to his feet, breaks the hands at 1 point for the escape.
So that puts the pressure on Digby now, because he's going to have to match that in the third period. And if Cruz can stay on top, then Digby, of course, is in trouble, regardless of whether or not Cruz is able to score right here.
So Digby will start on the bottom to begin period 3. This has just been a good defensive match played by both of these wrestlers. Cruz goes for the leg. He's in, trying to flip Digby around. Awkward position right now. We are in a scramble. Cruz trying to keep that leg and prevent Digby from getting the takedown. There it is. Great positioning there from Orlando Cruz to get the first takedown of this match.
Well done by Cruz. We get a stalemate call, but there's some action on the mat in the second period. A minute left to go in it. Cruz with the escape and the takedown, and again, that just puts the pressure on Digby. Digby at least has to match that. As long as Cruz doesn't score even more in this second period, certainly a great start for the sophomore.
1 minute left, or under a minute left in the second. Cruz looking for a mat return, and he pushes Digby outside the circle. He was close to the escape.
Cruz looking for his first dual win this season. You mentioned he's 3-5 overall, but 0-1 in duels so far for the Hoosiers. His first dual win as a Hoosier could come right here if he could hold on.
So if Cruz can continue the pressure up top and prevent a Digby escape, you might see a position where Digby maybe chooses neutral to start that third, but he's up on his feet again. Cruz looking for the mat return, and a big one. Riding time up to 40 seconds for Orlando Cruz. Digby has just been stuck on the mat with no room to work. 13 seconds. And if Cruz can ride out this period, he'll get it over a minute.
Yeah, we'll see if Cruz is looking for potentially a major decision. If he gets that riding time point right here, and then is able to sort of continue the pressure in the third period, there's a chance.
This is a big final 10 seconds for Seth Digby. If he can get the escape, trying to get on his feet, but Cruz able to shut it down. He has a 5-point lead with the riding time. And so we'll see what Digby chooses here. An escape and a takedown would tie things up if he can cancel out the riding time. So he will start on the bottom.
Yeah, I like that decision from Digby. Obviously, there's an argument to start on top, but you're going to need, or sorry, start from neutral, but you're going to need 4 points anyway. Wow, what a mat return. But he's going to need 4 points anyway, so might as well just accept the fact that he needs to escape and then get a takedown rather than put himself in position to get a takedown a little bit more quickly. But if Cruz can stay on top, it's going to take a while for Digby to secure those points.
These big mat returns from Orlando Cruz are starting to really wear on Seth Digby here.
And that's a great point, too, because even if Digby escapes and even if he secures a takedown, if Cruz rides for a while longer, then he's going to have an opportunity to accumulate enough riding time to make that the difference at the end of this one.
Digby with the escape. And he'll go on the attack, but not before Cruz grabs a leg and flips over for a takedown of his own. Great stuff there from Orlando Cruz. Looking for the major, he's flipping Digby's, wants the pin. Driving it down, looking for the back points. Orlando Cruz, the red shirt sophomore. He is close, really close.
Just not quite able to flip over that center of gravity.
So 1 minute left. Seth Digby back on his belly. 2 minutes of riding time now for Cruz. He's trying to flip him any way possible.
Well, he wants that, looks like the left leg, the leg on the right side of your screen. If he can flip that one up, then there's an opportunity for him to easily flip that momentum and potentially secure a pin. That's what the coaching staff wants.
Digby on his side. And they're telling Cruz, and they're going to say, they're going to call a penalty there on Cruz up around the head area. A little too aggressive on Digby. So Digby with a point there at 7-2. And now I think you see maybe Cruz lets him up and tries to cut him.
You're absolutely right, because if he's up 5, right? So a takedown makes it 8, and the escape and the riding time are going to cancel out. That riding time's secured.
So he let Digby up from neutral, so he gets the escape point, but a takedown from Cruz would give him the major. He has 20 seconds left to get it. Digby fighting back, has that right hand on the left thigh of Cruz. 12 seconds for the sophomore. Looking for it, almost had the leg, fired off one more shot. He has 5 seconds. Cruz will fend off an attack from Digby and take the win 8-3 with the riding time.
Some defense disguised this offense late for Digby there. He goes in on those shots. You mentioned from Crown Point, somebody that's had some great performances this season, 14th in the country, and also at 184 for Maryland is number 5 Jackson Smith. Not in action this time around, the red shirt senior, but it'll be Angelayas instead. So it'll be interesting to see how Goen does, because it's possible that he was preparing a little bit more for Jackson Smith, but he seems to be having no troubles early.
Freshman on freshman battle going on right now. Goen is going, no pun intended, right after Angelayas. But he was able, the Terrapin was able to fend off those early attacks.
Now, Angelayas was in action against number 26, James Rowley, 2 days ago in West Lafayette, and he lost by major decision, but a late takedown from Angelayas saved it from being a technical fall. A great job by him in that contest. Again, lost to a ranked wrestler at number 26. It wasn't particularly close, but still, Angelaias held his ground. He had some great moments and was impressive and certainly respectable, although now he takes a 3-0 deficit.
Going with the takedown. This freshman has been particularly impressive for the Hoosiers. Has wrestled in every dual meet so far for Indiana. 5-2 his record. One major decision. Earned a big upset in the first match of the year against Aiden Azarov of Columbia. That was the first meet of the year at Edgewood High School. Indiana took down Columbia in that one. But since then, Goen really hasn't looked back, and the fact that he's ranked this highly as a freshman could show big dividends for Indiana in the future. There's a chance this guy, for the rest of his college career, could be in the top 10. But Angelaias is underneath looking to drive Goen down for some points. Couldn't quite get the reversal. He does get the escape.
Again, Angelaias, certainly a respectable wrestler despite some of his troubles against ranked opponents this season. He's 9-4 overall as a freshman, and he's dangerous. If Goen's complacent, and he's not, but if he were to be complacent in this match, certainly not unthinkable that Angelaias could spring an upset even against the number 14 in the country, Goen. Goen's certainly sharp at the top of his game right now, as you mentioned, wrestling in every duel, certainly has looked great throughout the season. And it'll be interesting to see how many points he could gather for Indiana.
Well, he's got 3 more there with the takedown. And a stalemate called. Sam Goen is a guy that comes out of the gates as aggressive as they come. He is really quick. As soon as that bell starts for any period, he is going after points. Not a lot of feeling out from him. He's going right after people. No fear from the freshman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, very, very nice fight against Rowley a couple days ago. For him to wrestle twice against ranked wrestlers on the road in the same weekend is difficult for someone in their first or second semester on a college campus.
He did have a red shirt last year, went 9-2 and 3-0 in duels, but first year he's really sort of taken over that lead at 184 for the Hoosiers.
Absolutely. And he's got a nice lead right here. He's accumulating that riding time. He's racking up the seconds on the clock there. We'll see if he's able to establish an advantage one more time. He's certainly chasing potentially a major decision and some bonus points.
10 seconds left. Goen leads it by 4. Riding time is close to a minute. And that is how the first period will end. Goen, a 2-time IHSAA high school state champion in 2 different weight classes. In 2022, he won at 152. And in 2024, he won at 160. A nice first period from him.
And Goen's a bit of a bruiser, right? That was the word Coach Escobedo used to describe him in our Zoom call with him earlier in the week. That's the style of play, and you see it right there. You mentioned going after people, and of course, those quick takedown opportunities. He's willing to get nasty, and he's willing to get physical, as you would like a great wrestler to be. Angelaias, though, holding his ground.
He's starting up top, looking to cancel out that riding time that Goen accumulated. Angelaias is applying a lot of pressure up there, going with his face in the mat right now. Looking to drive up with those back legs and flip the Maryland Terrapin.
Very nice job on top right here from Sapantha.
Stall warning on Goen as the riding time is now canceled out. But Goen trying to work back up to his feet now after the warning. He was sort of just trying to prevent himself from getting flipped by Angelaias.
This is very nice to see if you're a Maryland fan, especially if Angelaias is able to ride out this entire second period. Goen's going to have something to say about that, and there's the escape.
So 7-2, the lead for the Hoosier. 40 seconds to go in this one. Goen leading by 5. So if he can get a takedown at some point throughout the finish of this match, he'll be in major decision territory. But But a good job by Angelayas to cancel out that riding time there. That was a ride of over a minute. Going headed up to 40 seconds. Now it's 20 seconds in favor of the Maryland man. So Goen will most likely need multiple takedowns potentially in this last period to get it done. Because if Angelayas gets the escape here and then a takedown, he'd only be upset.
Absolutely. Now Angelayas was dominant on top for much of the second period. We'll see if Goen can do the same in the third.
Because he would need, the ride that Goen would need would be 2 minutes, and that's not enough time with how short the second and third periods are as opposed to the first. And plus a 2-minute ride would be particularly impressive to get, no matter the circumstances. So Goen might be content. He could try to let him up and cut him, but might be too much of a risk because you could let him back in it. But he will go for it, lets him up, and right has a leg. Right away has a leg.
He's gonna get back points right here. Looks like 2, potentially more.
And Sam Goen just going right after Sapancha Angelayas. 2 points, 2-point near fall. Goen, he's up 7, needs 1 more for the major.
And he can, in theory, if he stays on top for long enough, he can just ride this one out. But I think he's looking for a couple more back points and potentially a pin.
37 seconds on the ride. It looks like he might be letting Angelayas up and trying to cut him again. Yeah, he does go, cuts him again in with the leg. Sam Goen, the red shirt freshman, putting on a clinic right now. Ranked 14th in the country at 184, looking to climb those ranks with how young he is. It's been an impressive start to his Hoosier career. Looking for more back points, driving up with those legs. Gets another takedown. Angelayas slips to his belly to avoid the pin, but going up by 9 with the riding time. Nearing a minute, he'll get the major decision here, barring an escape. 5 seconds, a complete performance from Sam Goen.
And he's going to get the riding time as well late there as he manages to stay on top. So a 10-point victory for Goen. Very impressive for the top 15 redshirt freshman. And again, you can see that style of wrestling. You can see that bruiser mentality from Goen, and it's enough to break the will of the freshman and Angelayas on the other side. It's been a fun one so far, and we have 2 more nice matches, and we've got a ranked-on-ranked opportunity right here, arguably the match of the day, a top 15 contest at 197 between Sollers, number 13, and John, number 15.
I don't think it's arguable, Andrew. This is definitely the matchup of the day. Gabe Sollers, a redshirt junior from Evansville, Indiana, against Branson John, a sophomore from Clovis, California, and these two are already firing off shots. John looking to get in, couldn't quite do so against Gabe Sollers. Sollers 8-4 on the year with a 4-3 record in dual competition. 3 major decisions, 2 tech falls, and 1 pin. John, last year as a freshman, went 14-19, but he's really picked things up. Was 6th place in the Big Ten Championships last year and has just improved upon that to his 15th rank here in 2025-2026.
And John is who I'm most interested to watch wrestle for Maryland, because against Purdue, against number 22, Ben Venadia, he lost by major decision. So obviously a ranked opponent, but he was ranked higher, and he lost convincingly. It was one of those landslide avalanche losses, as I like to call them. He's someone that's great at matching and exceeding the advantage that any wrestler puts forth. That's exactly what he did just there with the takedown. But it'll be interesting to see how he comes out on the road against Sollers after having such a poor performance, frankly, against Venadia.
Boy, came out strong so far. He's up 3-0. Got a big mat return on Sollers. Sollers looking to break the hands. He tried to flip around on his butt for the reversal, but John not fooled. Sollers does get the escape, and he's on the board.
And part of that landslide victory for Venadia had to do with the fact that he started so fast and 2 quick takedowns in the first period, and that was enough to extend that to a major decision throughout the rest of the match. And so for Sahlers, just establishing his authority and reinforcing his presence on the mat is important for these last 90 seconds to A, take the lead, and B, indicate to John that Sahlers is here to wrestle and he's here to wrestle hard.
197, this is gonna be a fight all the way throughout. 1:15 to go in the first. These two are very strong up top. Those ties are really hard to break if you're wrestling against Gabe Sahlers or Branson John. Sahlers fires off an attack, but John ready for it that time. 50 seconds to go in the first.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice for Sahlers if he's able to establish an advantage and score right here for a variety of reasons. But John doing a good job holding his ground and staying on his feet.
And next takedown for either guy could put them in a really big advantage. John, if he could get another one, go up 6-1, that could prove very vital for him winning this match. 15 seconds left between Sahlers and John. Both ranked in the top 15 at 197.
It was a nice, swift, snappy takedown from John early, but Sahlers has really settled in, and now the wrestling's going to begin at the second period as we look to see which one of these two guys is able to establish a prolonged advantage.
So John will start on the bottom. As you can see, a nice early takedown for him has him in the lead. Sahlers is a guy who is very, very impressive on top. Had a very impressive pin against Central Michigan. One of their ranked guys was down by a couple points, chose down at the very end, and Sahlers so good on top, got the pin. But that time Branson John escapes it, and he's up 4-1.
And this is a great bounce back opportunity for Sahlers because last week against Ohio State, he was also against a top 15 wrestler in Luke Geog, and he lost by regular decision 7-5.
Looking for the takedown. He has one leg of John trying to pull him back in, says, get over here. But John able to escape. But like you said, that match against Ohio State, he was one of the closest guys for Indiana that was able to come away with a win there. Couldn't quite do it. Ohio State swept Indiana, won every single match. But Sahlers, him and Ty Lillard were the two guys that almost got it done against the Buckeyes.
Yeah, more Buckeyes achieved bonus points than those that did not. And obviously Indiana just a couple regular decision losses. And as you mentioned, those two guys were amongst that group. But for Sahlers, it's an opportunity against someone he's ranked slightly higher against. He's right now at a deficit. It's going to be important for him to not lose 2 top 15 matchups in a row. And he had a nice showing right there at the boundary, not quite able to secure any points, but he's certainly indicating to John that, again, he's here to wrestle and he's here to wrestle hard as he has all season.
This will be a big win for whoever gets it between these two. 30 seconds left to go in the second period. Sahlers trying to fire off another attack before the buzzer sounds. John slides around on the mat trying to get a leg on Sahlers, but the Evansville native does not let him do so. 8 seconds left in the second. These two tied up with some bruising shots up top. And we will head to the third, a 3-point lead for the 15th ranked Maryland Terrapin, Branson John.
And you could argue that this is the most important 2 minutes of wrestling of the whole season for both of these guys, because again, they're both facing a situation where if they are to lose, that would be 2 ranked losses in a row, which certainly says a lot to the powers that be in terms of creating those rankings. So these next 2 minutes are critical for the entire season for both of these two guys. And as you mentioned, a huge opportunity to win.
Both of these two are looking to get back to the NCAA tournament. Sahlers made it as the 24 seed last year. He gets the escape. He's now only down by 2. He's in with the leg, trying to drive up. John countering back, hopping on one leg. Sollers looking for multiple legs. Spinning around now, John with a leg. These two are going at it. It's a scramble right now. A complete scramble to see who gets the position first. Both guys reaching around, looking for progress. It's going to be close to see who gets this one. John rolls Sollers over to his back, but Sollers in control, looking for the pin. John slips out of it. Gabe Sollers flirting with a pin right now, looking for some sort of points with 50 seconds to go. Stalemate called. That was close. Branson John had his back on the mat for a couple seconds there, multiple instances.
Certainly the most important sequence of the season for both sides so far right there. Neither of them exited with a score. That's a win for John, but Sollers has something to say about it.
In with the leg, trying to drive up. John trying to counter, bouncing to the edge of the mat. Sollers trying to keep him in, and he's hit with a stall call. So a point for Sollers. It's now 4-3.
I'll be honest, it doesn't change much. Sollers still needs a takedown. Riding time not a factor for him. So not a bad call there from John.
He can't get another stall call, though. That would tie things up. 23 seconds. Sollers needs one more point to tie things up. A takedown would give him the win. Two guys ranked in the top 15 are running out of time. 10 seconds. Sollers tied up with Branson John. 5 seconds. Sollers looking for the leg, but John is going to fend it off and earn a very hard-fought regular decision win, 4-3.
That was a fun one, Quincy. That was a lot of fun, and it's unfortunate for Indiana's Purdue just a couple days ago. He lost by regular decision, didn't do much. It was a lot of hand fighting. It was a lot of time standing up between him and his opponent, and we'll see. Clearly, it looks like he's a lot more active to start this one.
Schneck, a redshirt sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Caleb Marzolino, a redshirt freshman from Waverly, Pennsylvania. Marzolino 0-7 on the year, an 0-5 dual record. And Schneck definitely has the size advantage on him today. Marzolino, one of the smaller heavyweights that you'll see in the Big Ten.
And I imagine that has something to do with his 0-5 dual record, is just that when a heavyweight gets on top, again, a heavyweight, the difference between 197 and 285 is unbelievable. And if someone much heavier than Marzolino is on top of him, it's difficult for Marzolino to slip out. And so he's looking for an opportunity to establish an advantage against Schneck, who certainly has that size advantage, as you mentioned.
In Marzolino's redshirt season, he went 3-4, but did get 2 wins by way of the pin. But these two are bruisers out there, Schneck and Marzolino. In Schneck's redshirt freshman season, he had 8 wins, 1 major decision, 1 pin. But 2 young guys that are hoping to prove themselves to their programs moving forward.
Absolutely, and again, Schneck lost 4-1 against Hayden Filipovich of Purdue. A lot of time standing up, almost the entire first period spent standing up, similar to this one. And then, of course, Filipovich was able to establish advantage in the second and third and ultimately ends up winning that one. But Schneck looking for a little bit more activity against Marzolino. Certainly a prime opportunity for a confidence-building win for the Terrapin, but Marzolino holding his ground early.
1 minute to go in the first. Schneck trying to sort of lean on Marzolino here near the edge of the circle. And he's looking for a leg. You can see him sort of leaning down, trying to grab one, but cannot quite get it. 45 seconds to go. The battle has been up top between these two, as it normally is with the heavyweights. Some people say it's almost like a different sport because of how different the weight amounts are.
Absolutely. It's a lot more difficult to establish an advantage. As you can imagine, it's a lot harder to take down someone that's 270, 280 pounds rather than any other weight class. Here's an opportunity for Schneck.
Indiana bench wants a stall call. They will not get it. Schneck flirting with the edge of the ring there. 10 seconds to go. It doesn't look like we'll have any scoring in the first here. So it might come down to who can get an escape or who can get that riding time up.
Well, this is where the conditioning comes into play for Marzolino, because again, Schneck and Filipovic, it took sudden victory. They both got their escapes in the second and third period. Filipovic was putting together some more offense, and then in sudden victory, ultimately Schneck ran out of gas, and Filipovic was able to steal the victory that way to close out the duel against Purdue a couple days ago.
So Marzolino will start on top. Schneck just sort of able to flip him up on his back and get the 1 point escape. Schneck just has such a size advantage against Marzolino. I'd imagine when Marzolino starts on bottom, it'll be hard for him to get an escape, but definitely a slippery guy could get it done.
And that's a great point, and that makes it all the more important that Marzolino secures a takedown in this period, because this could play out very similarly to the match against Filipovic for Schneck, where they both get escapes, but in this case, as you mentioned, because Schneck has such a size advantage, maybe Marzolino doesn't get an escape, or if he does, maybe it happens too late in the period and Schneck can accumulate that riding time. It'll be interesting to see how the third plays out, especially if there's no scoring the rest of the way in the second.
It'll be a big ride for Schneck in the third for him to potentially secure a fourth win for Maryland. They have 3 wins of the 9 matches we've seen so far, all by regular decisions to get their 9 points. 45 seconds left to go in the second. Indiana bench wanting a stall call on Schneck. They won't get it. They like the way their guy has been fighting back. 30 seconds left in the second. Schneck going after it, trying to get something after a tie up top. Nothing doing yet, 15 seconds. Just a stalemate right now. And we'll start back from neutral, 5 seconds. It looks like we'll head to the third with Joey Schneck, the redshirt sophomore, leading by 1, and he has a big ride here to try to secure this win.
You're right. So here's the critical point, because Marzolino has accumulated 9 seconds of riding time so far. So if Schneck, because of how little offense we've seen and because of how difficult it's been for either of these wrestlers to take down the other, if Schneck can ride until, well, actually it doesn't matter.
Marzolino slips out of it, and we are even at 1. That was an impressive escape there from Caleb Marzolino. Just 5 seconds he needed to get out of that one. And we're back to neutral. Where can these guys scrap away a point?
And that's huge right there, because what I was going to say is if Schneck can get to a riding time point, even if Marzolino escapes, he probably just wins 2-1, because there hasn't been really an ability for either of these guys to take down the other. But Marzolino now has kind of an unspoken advantage because of how Schneck against Purdue ran out of gas in sudden victory and potentially here in the third period. In that case, Filipovic was able to get the takedown. Maybe Marzolino has that opportunity now. So Schneck not having that riding time point in his pocket is massively pivotal and an opportunity for Marzolino to pick up his first win.
1 minute to go in the third. Got to be